Razabani for FightHype.com with me, head of Sky Sports Boxing, Adam Smith. Adam,
hi.
How are you?
Good, great show. Really enjoyed it. Lively, lots in it. A few stars come through. Lots of different stories. Good to see professional debut successful of Shannon Courtney and obviously Lawrence Okolie getting the stoppage win. Josh Buatsi looking great again. Yeah, it was fantastic. Charlie Edwards. Pretty punch perfect, wasn't he?
You've gone on to record to say March Madness.
Yeah.
This is the third show of the year for Matchroom. Where were we first? O2 with Ted Cheese.
Well, we had the Next Gen show in Peterborough.
We had Peterborough, and now this is the third show. How do you assess those first three shows now? Because I know there's a lot of back and forth. I've heard a lot of interviews about yourself, Eddie, about the content in itself.
Yeah, I think we've sort of done that now. I mean, I've gone on record a number of times saying that the Ted Cheeseman night beforehand wasn't good enough, but actually on the night it was a fine night. It was okay. We've had plenty of good stuff from America. We just need to make sure that the British shows, the ones that we're airing between sort of 7 and 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, are excellent. Tonight's was a good show, and next week's I think it's going to be a fantastic show. I think it's a really competitive card. Plenty on it, right the way from the top of Liam Smith and Sam Eggington through the great matchup between Fowler and Fitzgerald, David Price and Cash Ali. You've got Robbie Davis Jr. and Joe Hughes. You've got Tasha Jonas on the bill. It's a great card, and I think it's another sold out venue next week in Liverpool. Mixing that with sort of Casey Taylor and Tevin Farmer and John O'Carroll last week in Philly, and week before, there were Dimitri Bivol night when Callum Johnson performed well again. It's been a great March, and we go forward very happy. The schedule looks extremely strong. We've got plenty happening in April on both sides of the pond, and May, Canelo, Jacobs, then more happening in the back end of May, both at home and abroad, and then we go to New York for AJ and Miller. So yeah, it's a fantastic schedule.
Look at some of the fighters on board today. Charlie Edwards, a dominating performance. Yeah, clearly won every single round.
Yeah, Charlie was great tonight. It's always difficult defending a world title for the first time. After the emotion of winning it, especially with his family, and the story was so wonderful before Christmas. But he's a dedicated guy. As he said tonight, he's obsessed, and he's got a great attitude. He wants to leave a legacy, and it's tough enough to be a flyweight, but to have that ambition, I think is fantastic. Whether he's good enough to do that and to unify titles, we wait and see. But he was certainly far too good for Angel Moreno tonight, who was, WBC number 14. It was a voluntary defence. No one really expected Moreno to come and upset Charlie Edwards, but it was the manner of the 12 rounds. He never stopped trying Moreno, and obviously he was limited, but Charlie did the right thing. He pot-shotted beautifully, he used his feet well, his uppercuts were terrific tonight, he stood and trade, a bit of showboating. It was a great performance, and what I loved about it is that the fans loved it. Even though it was a really one-sided performance, the fans absolutely loved it from start to finish, and I think Charlie's a great story. He's an infectious personality, and maybe he can put the little guys on the map.
Lawrence Okolie, again, everyone did expect him to beat, obviously, Wadi Camacho today. Wadi Camacho, I think, had 7 losses on his record. His style, do you think that's going to be a problem for him in the future, moving forward?
I think it's a problem for him, and it's a problem for his opponents. I worked pretty closely with a guy called Johnny Nelson, who was an absolute nightmare to fight, but he somehow went from having a pretty poor career to being an undefeated world cruiserweight champion for 7.5 years because no one could really fathom him out. I'm not saying Lawrence Okolie is going to become a world champion or even have that success, but he might do. You don't know. He's winning. He's finding a way to win, and I think Wadi's legs had gone tonight a bit, and I think that I wasn't surprised Lawrence stopped him, and he was messy, and he missed a bit, but he got the job done, and he got the job done fairly quickly. So you can't really criticise him too much because he's a British and Commonwealth twice champion. He's only had a handful of fights. He wasn't a really decorated amateur, and he's sort of learning on the job. Yes, his infighting is maybe not great, and sometimes he's hitting around the back of the head, and he can be messy. But he's obviously a big puncher. He's got very long arms. He's awkward, and he's going to be a nightmare to fight. So who knows? He could go the way. And actually, let's bring him over. Johnny Nelson, come around here. We're just talking. Come around here. We're just talking about Lawrence Okolie, and I said, look, I know somebody who had a style that was pretty difficult to fathom out and managed to make a massive success of his career.
I believe Lawrence Okolie can do that. And I know.
Do you think he's going to become world champion?
It can be. It can be because now all 6 moved up. That can happen. It's about timing. And I understand the flack, and I understand thinking I can't see the vision of this guy because he looks ugly and boring. As long as he keeps winning, that's what's important. And a lot of people in this place are seeing loose now. And that's a problem. As long as he keeps doing what he's doing,
I think Lawrence sparred with Tyson Fury, and I think that's the best thing. Johnny went on the road, when he had his difficulties with the style. He went on the road and he fought anyone and everybody. He sparred with them all. He lost some, he won some. And I think Lawrence will do really well to keep that sort of the variety of sparring up and basically answer any calls to do that, because that's how he's going to learn his way around the ring. But look, he's doing. He's getting results, and long may it continue, because he's got masses of personality and charisma. He can hit, and who knows, he could become a world champion.
Does he need to kind of abandon the British scene and just move up to European world now?
Winning.
I think he should. Yeah, I think now he's beaten Luke Watkins, he's beaten Matty Askin, albeit a horrible, awful fight. He's taken care of business tonight. Isaac Chamberlain, again, one that we want to forget. So there's been a couple of forgettable ones, but look, he won tonight. He stopped Camacho, and that's all he can do really. So I think the critics should just sort of take a step back, and he's unbeaten, and he's doing fine for himself, and I love his attitude. I like him personally, Lawrence, and I hope he does well.
Is Joshua Buatsi the real deal?
I think so. I think he is. I thought he was a little bit overexcited tonight to get that finish quickly, and he missed a little bit more than he normally does. But when he just took a step back, he was calm and cool, and I love watching him. I think he's fantastic. And Liam Conroy tried very hard from the opening bell, and wasn't overawed, and was just two right hands undid him, and there's the power he's got as well. Buatsi, I think he's going to go a long way in this sport.
Adam, just to go back to what we discussed earlier about the content and Sky, a lot of our UK fighters have gone abroad, and obviously my question isn't that Sky is still showing us fights from America. My question more relates to the viewing time of peak 10 p.m, 9 p.m. here. You're seeing Crawler now going, you can see Callum Smith going, I think Josh Kelly's going to be in the card and Brooke of Joshua. Eddie went on record, I heard an interview this week that he said that there's so much money in America, the fighters from here want to go there. How do we then bring those fighters back here? Is by maybe increasing the right fees?
Listen, I think boxing is cyclical. What people haven't really mentioned, that I've kept saying, is that there's been a lot of fighters who've retired at top level. Tony Bellew, James DeGale, George Groves, David Hay. All of these guys have walked away in the last year or so. So there's, Amir Khan hasn't got many miles left. We hope for the Kell Brook fight still. He's got a big fight against Terence Crawford. Kell will fight on, but they haven't got, they're not going to be around in 2-3 years' time. So it's a big change of the guard, and we need to make sure that the likes of Joshua Buatsi and Joe Cordina and, on the other side, Anthony Yard, Daniel Dubois, all these guys are coming through, and they're the future of British boxing. You can't stop fighters like Callum Smith or Kell wanting to go and make the most money they can in their careers at this stage.
See you later,
see you, John.
My friend.
Take care. See you later. You can't blame them. The money is mad in America at the moment, but this is what happens. We've had a fantastic halcyon period in British boxing. Who thought we'd ever fill Wembley? We filled Wembley a couple of times with 80-90,000, Principality with 80, and it's incredible. Those nights will come again, have no doubt. But at the moment, there is a lot of money in America. We've got to make sure that the shows here continue to be competitive, continue to be lively, continue to find us the next generation of stars. And tonight was a good night, and we're going to have a really good night next week in Liverpool, and on we go.
Just finally, Adam, it's late, 7 games to go. Are Liverpool going to win the league? That's all I want to know.
Well, I mean, obviously, I 100% say yes. I mean, it's fingers crossed. And it is, listen, I'm a massive Liverpool fan, have been since I was 4 years old. I'm going to get up there in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Look, I think so. City, look, we're top of the league, and that's, psychologically good. City are massively strong, but they're involved in so many competitions. Look, we still got the Champions League as well, and we've got a good draw against Porto. So, you know, I'm hoping. Listen, there's a long way to go, but we're in it, and that's the best we can say at the moment. We need Mo Salah to start scoring.
Hopefully, April 24th, our arch rivals United do us a.
That's it. That's what we need. You know, we need a result at the between United and City. We need a draw. We need a City loss. But you know, we can only do what we do is keep winning, and you know, that's like in boxing. Keep winning, one step at a time, and let's hope and pray that we end up champions in May.
Adam Smith of FightHype.com. Thank you very much.
No problem.